Hi, and welcome to our second round of conditional grammar structures. We talked about the first conditional earlier, and now we're going to talk about the second conditional. In this activity, we have an advice page, okay, and it's just a letter from AD to Dr. John, and then Dr. John's response back to AD. AD is having some problems, and Dr. John is going to help him or her out. So hopefully you read that, and you should have been looking for the if, the word if, and the sentences that go with it. Okay, what we're looking at in the second conditional are you're going to have two parts. Okay, just like the first conditional, you'll have an if part, which is also called a clause, and a result part or a result clause. If I lived in Korea is the if part, of course. I would eat kimchi is the result part. Now, this one is going to be a little bit different from the first conditional. And if you just did the first conditional, hopefully you recognize some things that are different, especially with the verbs. But let's go down here and find our if clauses. So there are our if clauses. And you want to focus on the verb, especially the verb tense. Does everybody see what's similar about all of those? Okay, let's take a look at the result clause now. And now we have all of our if clauses connected to a result clause. And there is one word in all of those result clauses that is the same. Can you see it? Okay, good. So let's go ahead and put these in order. What comes first? Well, we can start with the if, of course. Then after that, what do we need? If they knew. So we need a subject. Then, what tense is this verb right here? That's right, it's in the past tense. And that comes after the subject. Then we would have the subject, would or could, and verb in the base form. And remember, that just means it's a verb without anything added to it or changes made to it. No S's, no INGs, no EDs, nothing. Just simple. Okay, that's the base form, or some people call it the infinitive form. The word's not important. Now, don't forget that you can also rearrange these. Okay, and you can start with the subject here, then would, then that verb, then if subject and the verb in the past tense. The only real difference between these two is that if you start with the if clause, you need a comma. If you start with the result clause, you don't need a comma. Now you'll also see that I've got would or could right here. Now, you can put other things in there. Look back up at the second paragraph, at Dr. John's response, and find me the two other things that could go right here. That's right. You can make a contraction right there. I'd. That's just a shorter way of saying I would be a rich man. And then we have wouldn't right here, which makes the sentence negative. Finally, why do we use the second conditional? To talk about real and possible situations, unreal or impossible situations, talk about things that are always true. And the answer is this. That's one of the reasons that we use it a lot for advice, because we talk about things that aren't necessarily going to happen. If I were you, I would study more. All right? Let's move on to the practice.